Hey curious people, welcome back to the Curiosity Kingdom. Today we'll be continuing with our season 2, and this time of season 2 we are going to have a brand new series, the Let's Know series. Because of the reasons already mentioned, we are no more able to continue with our public poll quiz series, and therefore we are introducing this new series, the Let's Know series. In this series videos, we are going to take up 7 exciting and interesting questions, and then we are going to discuss their answers. So you are going to learn a lot. As usual, I'm Athar Dobe, and let's begin. But before we begin, subscribe to Curiosity Kingdom and hit the bell icon to get the updates of every video we make. Also, you can follow us on our various social media handles like our Instagram page, our Facebook page, our Quora page, all at the Curiosity Kingdom. Also, we have got a new Patreon page, so if you like our work, you can support us there. And don't forget to visit our website at www.curiositykingdomweb.blogspot.com. At number 1, let's know from where does 2ab comes in a plus b whole square. In our lives, we might have come across this equation or formula that a plus b whole square equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Have you ever wondered from where does this 2ab comes? Even I did. So let's find out. Before we move ahead, you should know two formulas of finding areas of two different quadrilaterals. The first one is square, whose formula of area is side square, and the second one is a rectangle, whose formula for area is length into breadth. So now let's start. Let us take a line L of any random length, and then take a random point or an arbitrary point on it, which clearly divides the line segment into two parts of length A and B respectively. Now let us make a square using the same line segment. It somewhat looks like this. And now let's find the area of the square. Now we already know that the line L length is equal to a plus b. And to find the area of a square, we multiply the side to its side, or we square the side. So the area of this square will be a plus b whole square. And now let us find out the area. So to find out the area, let us join the points which we made earlier with their opposite point. It somewhat looks like this. This clearly divides our square into four different quadrilaterals, two square and two rectangle. Let us look at the top left quadrilateral, which is a square. So its area will be side square, and its side is a, so its area is a square. And now let us look at the bottom right quadrilateral, which again is a square, whose sides are b. So its area will be b square. And now let us look at the two rectangles which are on top and bottom. And if you see, its length is b and its breadth is a. So its area will be a into b or b into a, which is again ab. Thus the area of this square is a square plus 2ab and b square. And by this we derive that a plus b whole square equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. At number 2, let's know what is a vaccine. Nowadays we all are waiting for the coronavirus vaccine. But do you actually know what a vaccine is? Let's find out. Many people think that vaccines are human-made antibodies. But actually vaccines are made using killed or weakened version of disease-causing germ or part of the germ called antigens. Yes, you heard it right. The same germ is being injected in your body, but in a weakened or dead form. Let's see how it works. When you get a vaccine, your immune system responds to the vaccine the same way it would to the real germ. First, it recognizes the germ as a foreign material. Then it responds by making antibodies to destroy the germ as it would do for the real germ. And then our immune system remembers the germ and remembers how to destroy it. That way, if you are ever exposed to the disease causing germ in the future, your immune system will be able to destroy it quickly before it has a chance to make you sick. This is how you get immunity from vaccines. Fun fact: about 25% of adults are afraid of needles, and around 7% of adults avoid immunization because of their fear. And this phobia of being afraid of needles and sharp objects is called acmophobia. At number 3, let's know why do we add yeast in bread. Most of the people love bread and many eat it as a staple in breakfast. The key ingredient in making bread are flour, water and yeast. Have you ever wondered why is yeast added in bread? To make it fluffy? Obviously. But then how does it makes the bread fluffy? See, yeast is a fungi, and just like every living organism, it requires energy, which it gets from anaerobic respiration, which is respiration without oxygen. And respiration is a process in which energy is produced by oxidation of organic products, typically in the presence of oxygen, and carbon dioxide is released as a byproduct. Whenever we make bread, we add a little bit of sugar, which goes in as a kind of food for the yeast. The yeast goes through anaerobic respiration, in which energy is produced with a byproduct of carbon dioxide and alcohol. The carbon dioxide thus produced makes the dough rise. As the bread is baked, the carbon dioxide escapes, making some pockets in the bread, which makes the bread fluffy. The alcohol has a very low boiling point and thus evaporates while baking of the bread, and also the yeast dies because of the high temperature. At number 4, let's know why do we get a forward push when a vehicle suddenly stops. You might have observed a minute forward push when a moving vehicle suddenly comes to rest. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Let's know why. This happens because of inertia, which is the property of matter by which it continues in its existing state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line, unless that state is changed by an external force. This means an object in rest will remain at rest and an object in motion will remain in motion unless and until an external force is applied on it. This is the first law of Newton. And inertia is directly proportional to the mass of the body. When we are in a vehicle which is moving, our body is also moving with that vehicle. When the brakes are suddenly applied, force is applied on the vehicle to stop it, and thus the vehicle stops. But no force acts on the person. So because of inertia of motion, the person's body is in motion. And since you are not making any attempt to remain in motion, you get a forward push. This push is deducted by a body weight and friction which occurs by a resistance. But in cases where the speed of the vehicle is very high and a sudden brake is applied, a person is very likely to get a way harder forward push, and therefore it is recommended to wear a seat belt. At number 5, why do we tear while cutting onions? Whenever we cut onions, our eyes start getting a burning sensation and soon start to tear. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Let's know why. Onion cells contain enzymes and amino acid sulfoxides kept separately. When we cut an onion, the cells burst, mixing the enzyme with the acid, creating syn-propylacetin S oxide, which changes to gas very soon. And this gas enters our eyes, which on reacting with the water in our eyes creates a mild acid which gives a burning sensation. Our brain, in order to stop it, signals the lacrimal gland, the gland responsible for creating tears, to produce tears, which is mostly water, to neutralize the acid in our eyes. But the production is more than required, and when our eyes are not able to store any more of it, they come out of our eyes, and thus we start tearing. At number 6, how does a bulb works? We all come across these bulbs a lot many times in our lives. Created by Thomas Edison, light bulbs plays a vital role in lives of millions. But have you ever wondered how does it works? Let's know how. See, a bulb consists of 4 major components: electrical wire, a filament, which is a coiled wire, case, and an inert gas. When we turn the switch on, electricity comes in through the wires and tries to move through the filament. The filament is made up of tungsten, which has high electrical resistance, means it highly resists the flow of electricity. This converts the electrical energy to heat energy, making tungsten hot. As the heat reaches 4500 Fahrenheit, the tungsten begins to glow, producing light. A point to note about tungsten is that though it has high electrical resistance, but it's still a conductor. Wanna know more about tungsten? Wait for a few years till our every element in the periodic table series comes to tungsten. Coming back to the point. The filament is kept in a glass case which amplifies the light. It is filled with an inert gas like argon to prevent any chemical reaction, since these gases are very unreactive. All these things happen in a very short span of time. At number 7, how igloos keep us warm even though they are made up of ice. An igloo is a dome-shaped structure made up of ice which is used by Inuits and are found in cold places to keep you warm. Now you might have wondered, if they are made up of ice, how do they keep us warm? Let's find out. An igloo is made up of compressed ice brick. The compressed ice contains some air trapped in it. Now, to know further how it keeps us protected, we should know the flow of heat. Means how does the heat flows from one object to another. Heat flows from a hot object to a cold object. Okay, so when the weather is cold outside, like in polar regions, our body loses heat and thus we start feeling cold. When we are in an igloo, the heat released by our body is not able to escape the igloo, as the compressed ice has air in it, and as we all know that air is a poor conductor of heat, means it does not allow heat to pass through it, making the inside warm and thus keeping you warm. Even if you see, warm air rises up, so often Inuit sleep at the upper shelf or the upper part of the igloo to keep them more warm. And by this we come to the end of this video. Hope you learned something new. If yes, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. New to this channel, don't forget to subscribe to it. You can follow us on our various social media handles. We have got a new Instagram page, so don't forget to follow us there. Also, if you like our work, you can support us on our Patreon page. And till the next time, keep learning, keep asking, and stay curious.